Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Sigval here and welcome back to another video. So I built Golden Armor Wonder Woman. Since she's been in a free challenge, a lot of you at this point most likely have her unlocked at the very least with some of the gears, if not all the gears. So I want to test her out a bit and see how she goes. As far as the build goes, we're going to go with max crit damage, almost max crit chance, and we're going to have 69% fast attack chance. We have 4 fast attack hits there because we're going to have the Joker as Batarangs, but more on that later. And she's just 3 stars, but I don't think her star rating really impacts her performance that much, or me missing a gear even, because all that a higher star rating will do for me is give me a little bit more base attack, and what another gear would do is also give me a little bit more base attack, and in stories you get so much attack from the artifacts that that thing is more or less irrelevant. And as far as her abilities go, she doesn't really have anything that should hint at her being a damage dealer. You might be like, Sigval, she has Athena's power. What do you mean? I'm never gonna go out of my way to trigger this because it's a garbage buff. This can stack up to 3 times, but it's not gonna be reliable to stack it up to 3 times because then I would have to include a healer in the team, and at the same time I'm not even gonna try to stack it once because 35% attack, and even if it was 100% more attack, it's garbage because it's going to be a percentage out of her base attack, and that base attack is going to be 1000, and that really doesn't matter. And for the setup that I'm gonna use, we're going to have the Joker as Batarangs at level 6, and for other passive stats we're going to have Dark Metal cards, and we're going to most likely use Hand of Zatanna at 3rd level for more passive stats. And yes, this is a pay to get artifact. That's hard to get as Beta Club and almost as good as Beta Club. I'm doing this for entertainment purposes. This is not the character that you want to build for performance, and not even a budget damage turn, but we'll get more into that later as I talk a little bit about her compared to Collector vs Superman when you're trying to get, let's say, a replacement if you don't have a Manta or Mr. Freeze to pair up with Brainiac. But yeah, I'll most likely eventually try her out with Dark Metal cards instead, so you guys can get a reflection of how much damage you might get out of it, but even then my values would most likely be inflated compared to yours because I have higher artifact levels. But yeah, all being said, let's get into it. Okay, so as far as the first fight goes, you might see that this is by far not an optimal setup for her, and you'd be right. We're fighting Harley, and she's also got maxed out armor, and she's not gonna be the most friendly character to combo and chop, but I just built her and I wanted to get a feel for her in this fight. So this is not gonna be for damage testing necessarily, just to see how character feels and how the character works. Also, I could in theory use the special one because it sunders and is gonna constantly apply the sunder debuff on the enemy, but at the same time I wanna use the 3rd special for the damage of it. So yeah, that's not gonna be really possible considering the power bars that I have. I'm gonna stack Lethal with Brainiac to increase her lethal attack damage. And yeah, I'm giving her Brainiac, like, look, straight up, if I haven't given her Brainiac, she would never deal any resemblance of damage. And in this fight, not even with Brainiac, because I explained it's kind of unoptimal. And the thing that I noticed quite quick, and it's gonna be a little bit more relevant in the next fight, because we actually have 3 fights with her, it's the fact that her swipe right sucks. I knew that it sucks from other Wonder Woman characters, I just didn't realize that it sucks all the way to that point. So why does the swipe right suck? The swipe right of Wonder Woman characters, it's gonna be one of those things in the game, usually it happens with abilities, not basic attack hits, that actually staggers you more than it staggers the opponents. And she'll have a 0.5 second additional delay after that before blocking, so it will not make combo interruption impossible, but so much harder than it would be with other characters. I can still somewhat do it, and she's got a fast opener. I'll definitely give her that. She definitely has a fast opener, and if you can kind of squeeze that in, you will be able to combo interrupt characters that you might have trouble combo interrupting with other things that have a slower opener, but that swipe is just so debilitating for her. I just can't wrap my head around it, and you'll see that I'll eventually transition into just not using the swipe right. If it sucks, don't use it. It's just one additional basic attack hit that you're missing, is not a big deal. Something that somewhat contributes to the damage of this team is going to actually be the fact that when she blocks, gets a little bit of combo, but that's gonna be almost nothing. If that did not exist, she won't be a better or worse character. You can see that Athena's power triggered on Brainiac, but again, that passive I consider it very relevant. Yeah, this fight sucks, I know. As I said, I was just vibe checking the character, getting the feel of it. We're going to get into actually dealing some decent damage with her, but not in this fight. Come on, drop there again. push her to the corner, Wonder Woman back in there, special 2. And yeah, considering the high amount of defense on Harley that we're not reducing because simply we don't have the energy to do so and it's a little bit unoptimal to do so here, we're going to have a decent time. And also here, I don't have the Jokerized Batarangs, by the way. I think I have, because we don't apply poison debuff on her, I have the Dark Metal cards on her to increase the crit damage. And yet again, I'll try a more proper fight with Dark Metal cards eventually. So here we had the Dark Metal cards and the Jokerized Batarangs were just somewhere for the passive stats. We're going to speed this fight up for reasons that you'll eventually see. So, as usual, first up, stack Lethal Brainiac. Again, you shouldn't use Brainiac with this team, I'm just doing this for testing purposes, for entertainment purposes. Give your Brainiac to anything else at this point, but not to Wonder Woman. And this is a decent moment to talk about Wonder Woman versus Collector vs Superman. If you don't have something to pair up with Brainiac, something good, and the only things you have access to are Wonder Woman and Collector vs Superman, go for Collector. Collector is going to be a far more reliable character as far as I can tell. He can be far more tanky with the special 2. He can power steal with the special 1, and his third special is actually decent. And his damage buff passive, even though it is still not a good damage buff passive, is going to be far better than anything she has at her disposal. And yeah, here I'm just gonna straight up die because the enemy just decided to, or her decided to have a delay on the third special. But yeah, here's the fight where we actually deal damage. Again, we have Jokerized Batarang on her, so I don't know actually if the damage with Dark Metal cards would have been better or worse, because Jokerized Batarangs usually goes well with characters that deal a lot of damage on basic attack hits. And she does deal a decent amount, but is nowhere near the level of Batman Ninja Teams or Black Manta, so yeah, definitely most likely will test her with Dark Metal cards as well, and we might even get better results as far as I'm aware. I don't know, I've never really tested that one out. And so we are going to build combo very fast with this. Yet again, we're going to stack Lethal Brainiac. You can see that I cycled out the last swipe from her combo, because it's simply not worth it at this point. If it makes the gameplay harder for me and it makes it more inconvenient, then screw it. Over there I messed up a bit. Just cycle out the things out of your gameplay that make your game harder, more frustrating and less reliable. And we're not missing much by not doing that. We're trying to really push her back to the corner. We have Dark Metal cards on Brainiac, so we will try to somewhat keep that down to make sure that she crits. Third special in there, and we trigger the poison effect, doing some basic attack hits. The basic attack hits are doing a decent number. And again, I'm giving so much to this team. Don't look at this and get any ideas that she might be worth using for you, because she's most likely not. If you're at that point where you literally don't have any legendary character like Manta or Mr. Freeze to buff off with Brainiac, just use Collector and you'll be fine. Most likely you have more shards for Collector because the challenge has been around for longer. But yeah, the damage is as decent as you expect to be on basic attack hits at the very least for a character that uses Brainiac and gets that lethal attack damage from it. Another special line there from Brainiac. Wonder Woman back in there. Third special. That's a 2 million damage. Boy, I wish that was a 2 billion damage. Actually, I don't wish, because that would be extremely dumb broken. Combo interrupting in here a little bit more. And I'm gonna use Brainiac again to put Dark Metal cards down there. I'm gonna cycle a lot between looking forward to reset Dark Metal cards there, not looking forward to it, because since I don't have any more lethal attack damage to stack, that's a bit unoptimal to tag him just for that. Don't get me wrong, ideally we would have that down at all times, but since we can't really have it, we're just not gonna put it down at all times. And it's a level 6 Dark Metal cards, in the higher level it is the lower amount, the area will actually stay there, so not great in that regard. She builds combo very fast because of the Jokerized Batarangs, but you should build combo fast because of her 3 hits whenever she combo interrupts passive anyway. And yeah, that's as far as her damage goes. As far as I remember, she did 200 something mil, and it is not impressive by any means considering the resources I gave her, but definitely was an interesting thing. Maybe we'll try her a little bit more. But yeah, don't build her. Build Collector, and if you got something better, build something better. Thanks so much for watching, and goodbye!
This is the future.